Hey, today we are making simple gift card pockets. So I am just taking some scraps that I already had, and this one is, I don't even remember, from a project forever ago. So I'm just putting Scrappy Tape on the outsides of this scrap piece of paper, and I kind of liked the swoop out of it, so I was like, well, let's try and see if we can make a pocket card. So I just did it on the very outsides so that my gift card can slide in and out, and I didn't put any on the swoop side. So right there's our little pocket. This one I did the same thing. I just had a random triangle piece, so I just put it on the outsides, nothing in the middle, and I attach it to my card base. And these ones aren't a perfect fit, but they were close enough that I figured that's all right. I don't think anyone will mind. And this one I did decide to lift it up a little bit so there is some white at the bottom, and just, something a little bit different. So as I'm putting the Scrappy Tape on, I noticed that there's a little piece that didn't get cut when I cut the line for that triangle. So just trim it off, and then once I get the Scrappy Tape off, I've come off the side a little bit, so you just push it back on and you don't have to reset all your tape. It's great to just fold over itself, and it doesn't affect the integrity at all. Okay, now for the little card base for the gift card. I didn't want to just stick a gift card in. I wanted to have something that you can pull it out and the gift card will be kind of stuck to it. So I just kind of measured this out. I knew I wanted to have some space on either side of the gift card and at the top and the bottom. And so I just kind of eyeballed it. This one, I was trying to decide what kind of pattern I wanted, what direction I wanted it to go. And I'm just still using scrap pieces. So I decided I did like having all green since my card is all red with the white base. So I decided to go with the green side. And again, I'm just eyeballing it, just sliding it over, and so I can use the card to do my straight lines. And then I just trim off the little white edge here, and then I go to my lines. And once I get them all trimmed, I'll check again with my card and make sure it's really what I want. I did decide to do this one just in case I liked it better, but in the end I do end up just using this green one. Oh, and I wanted to try and do it on the other side, but it's slanted. So when you're using a cutter, make sure you're using your flat side to go off of. So trying to decide how big I want it, and I remembered that this was the correct sizing. So then I just used this piece to be my pattern, and I used it to trim up my other ones to be the same size. Now that I have them the size I want, I just put my card on there, and I am gonna use just a normal little hole punch, and then I just line it up and use that same punch to just go through all the cards so that it's all in the same position and I don't have to remeasure each time. Make sure my cards fit in how I want, that I don't need to trim them up. This one is too wide for how I want it to sit, so I just stick it back in my trimmer, use the flat side, and I just cut a little bit off each side. This one I noticed was a little bit crooked, so I just straightened it out and then took a little bit off the other side as well. So now it should be thin enough, yep, and it fits perfectly how I want it to fit. I decided I wanted to use twine as my little tassel on these cards. So I just get my twine at the dollar store. It comes in a pack of 3 and it's super cheap, and I love how it looks on things and how easy it is to use. So I just looped that through. I didn't tie it. So I just fold it in half, and then I stick the looped part through the hole, pull it through, and then I make it big enough that I can stick the ends through, and I pull it tight. And you can see that these cards I did differently. I pushed the end through from the front, and this one I pushed it through from the back. So depending on what you want the front of your card to look like, then that is how you would do your loop. So I like it going through from the front. So that's what I'm gonna do on this last card. And then just put my tails through. Make sure they're even before I pull it tight. And then it'll hold itself in place. I use the 1/4 inch Scrappy Tape on the back of the gift cards, and I'm not gonna flip them over, so I'll just skip that part in the video, but then I attach that to the little card we just made. This is the stamp set I'm going to be using today. It's Avery's Banner Bits, and I think they're so cute, and I think the banner is fun. So I wanted to have the banner on the actual paper. So I should have done it before I stuck everything on, but then this way I'll know exactly where I want it to be. And I'm using the Gina K Jet Black ink. So I actually made the cards a little bit differently. And so because I left that white gap at the bottom, I had to move my card base in it. So you can see at the bottom of my card, it's not all the way to the line of my Misti. So I had to be really careful when I was stamping to make sure that it was going where it was supposed to, so I didn't end up with double stamps. And then I just found a piece of white scrap paper, and it kept moving. So I stuck a piece of 1/4 inch Scrappy Tape to the back of it and just stuck that onto my mini Misti and moved it around to wherever I needed it to be. Pushed it on, made sure it was where it's supposed to be, but you can see that it slid over on this left side. You can see where the black has come away from the side. So it ended up misstamping, and I still had ink on the back. So I pulled off my 1/4 inch Scrappy Tape, flipped it over, and I'm just gonna use this same piece because it's the right size and I didn't want to waste it. So luckily the tape came off easily. So this time I'm gonna put ink on it first so it's not as sticky. So hopefully it won't move it. I'm definitely paying more attention this go around to where it is at and if it moves at all. Thankfully it stayed in place, so no more mess ups. So now I'm just gonna put my little saying from that same banner bit set onto my banner, make sure it's where it's supposed to be, double check that it's lined up. And I just put my ink on, and it says, "Let's celebrate." Because I already have that Scrappy Tape on, I can just line it up and put it on where I want. This side was a little bit longer than the other, so I just took my scissors and trimmed it off quick and then placed it on my card. So pretty simple. I didn't like how long my twine was, so I just trimmed it a little bit. Obviously, I need sharper scissors, but I love them, so I gotta replace them. So this one, I have to make sure that I'm putting my words in the correct way. So I figure out which way my card opens, and then I put my words in so that they're not upside down. Because that would be real fun, right? To finish the card and stamp your words upside down. So this stamp says it's your day. I really like my stamping to be dark, so I always double stamp. So that's nice about the Misti, is that I can always double stamp and it's perfectly where it's supposed to be. This one was too long as well, so I just trimmed it off, pull them apart so they're not stuck together, and that card's finished. And then this last card, I need to line it up, but it's upside down because this card opens the other way. So I have to wash it off, make sure it's nice and dry before I put it on to my card, because I don't want to accidentally stamp on there when I'm trying to get my placement correct. So now that it's where it's supposed to be, I can stamp it on, and I didn't have any more stamp mistakes today. Hopefully I'm not the only one that makes stamp mistakes. This one I did leave a little bit longer, but I do like how it turned out. Then you have something to hold on to as you pull out your gift card. And here's our final product for just using some scraps that I had lying around and some cheap twine. It turned out great. It's nice and easy to just slide them in and out. And I did adhere both of the other ones with that 1/4-inch Scrappy Tape onto the little cards as well, just so the gift cards won't fall out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.